Thursday afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Welcome back to the channel today. If you're looking for some sort of pattern discussion video or daily forecast video, this is not it. I'll make you guys a pattern discussion video in the next several hours. This video right here is going to be kind of going over our severe potential over the next couple of weeks and why I think we're going to have a very reasonable and notable spike in severe potential and the number of severe events to get our way towards the middle of March. So we're going to go over all that as well as what's actually going on today. So feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy the content. That also lets the algorithm know if you do that this content should be shown to more people. So feel free to do that. But we're going to get into it right now. No specific order of this video. We're just going to kind of go over some model guidance. So right now, this is the risk that we have from the Storm Prediction Center. We actually have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk in areas of centered mainly over central Mississippi, even over towards Birmingham, Alabama with this slight risk, down into the Arklamis areas. So if we break that down by type here, we no tornado threat is outlined right now. A little 5% area for wind, but it's actually a hail-driven slight risk. It's not common, but with this event, I think we're going to have enough cold air aloft that it could really get some of these storms to produce a lot more hail than usual. I'm going to go ahead here and pull this up so that we can look at the radar here. I think it's this tower. Yeah, so there's several storms already in northern Alabama that could be causing some problems. So we're gonna leave this up. I can go back and forth between this. So there's the risk, and we can go over the HRRR model here. This is what we're seeing for today. I'm not too focused on today, not overly so. This video is about the longer range, but as we get our way into this afternoon, the HRRR model has consistently shown we'll get storms to fire off between right now. That's about 3:50 p.m. Eastern time and the next couple of hours, and we'll get storms to develop here in areas of Mississippi and Alabama and drop to the south, all of which could produce large hail, damaging winds. They haven't outlined a tornado risk, and I think that's a valid non-issuance, if you will, because I don't think the environment really supports it. But at the same time, if we got a small tornado report or two by the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised. So we're gonna move past that and into some discussion of the longer range. So we're going to be looking at the European Ensemble here. I'm going to show you a few different products. So I'm going to start off here. Actually, I'm going to start off here. So this is the Euro Ensemble. 51 members make this up. And this is the upper levels. This is 3 or 4 miles above your head. This is way up there. Not as high as we can go. You can see it goes to 300 millibars and all that stuff, but don't worry about that. 500 millibars is the mid-levels of the atmosphere, pretty high up. This is the layer that drives our weather pattern the most. So this is starting off right now, forecast hour 0. So I'm going to just kind of take this out a little bit. We kind of have a trough move in for the southeast, and this is 42 hours away, and that kind of moves out. Then a lot of our models indicate as we get out towards the 100-hour range, we have some sort of shortwave trough to develop. A lot of models, I have the GFS pulled up as well. This feature right here, you got kind of a low, and there's an area of higher wind associated with it. But this starts to translate east. The European Ensemble doesn't do much with it. This would be the third into the fourth, and doesn't do a lot. But this kind of glancing blow of higher winds aloft could get some severe weather going. I don't expect much, but we move past that. Now, there's another time frame I'm watching. As early as the 6th through as late as like the 12th, which is I know is a big range. Really, to me, the 7th and 8th, 7th through the 9th is my time frame I'm really watching, because you see this area of energy moving, this dip in the jet stream right here. These are what cause severe weather the most often, especially the most prolific events. I'm not saying we're about to have some sort of insane outbreak, but I think the pattern could support some sort of higher end, higher ceiling scenario. So we're gonna look into it here. This is getting into the 6th and the 7th and into the 8th. So you can see how it kind of translates to the east and then spikes that wind. This is the afternoon of the 7th, this coming Sunday. Not this Sunday that we're coming up on, the Sunday after. About 8 to 10 days away. We've got this area right here. Now I'm gonna keep this hour 228. And I'm going to, let's see here. So this is what we had. Let's get everything centered again. So if you go from that to this, these line up well here. So in this circle, that's our upper level energy. Do we have surface moisture that lines up with it? In a way, yeah, we've got moisture down here. These are dew points that you're looking at here. So if you have dew points that in blue here, that's 60 degrees or more. If you have those, that's ample for moisture, especially this time of year. Even these dark greens can get the job done. So don't take a model run like this. The European Ensemble is a very smoothed out look, right? There's nothing too kind of grungy about these colors or insane with the track of it. Just a kind of a smoothed out look. Don't take this and say, ah, well, this circle and this circle don't really line up with the most moisture, because they don't. Just get the idea that there is moisture in the area and there's wind energy in the area, kinematics. We go back here. I'm watching this pretty closely. This is the afternoon of the 7th and the 8th. It kind of strengthens again. The orientation of this on this run is not great, but again, this is the European Ensemble. It's averaging out a ton of different scenarios. So there's probably a scenario you have a shortwave trough dive through down here, right? So this jet streak is down there. There's other scenarios, including the GFS. It kind of goes up here. So this jet streak is down here. So it averages all that together. You get this kind of broad flow aloft. So we'll go over some operational runs here in a second. But with this wind energy, this is a solid signal for a lot of wind energy. This is past 250 hours as well. I do want to note that. But I think there is something to be said for using ensemble runs like this for what they're intended to be used for. They're intended for the longer range to give you a coarse idea of what you could see. That's what they're intended to do. If we move past this, and this is the evening of the 8th into the 9th, it kind of sticks around, right? And now this is the end of it. So we kind of lose that specific area of enhanced flow. It's kind of just broad westerly flow aloft. Everything, all these black lines kind of flatten out. Maybe a little bit of troughing over here, but not a lot. So you transition from that. You go back to our moisture. This is starting off the evening of the 7th. And then you see it kind of keeps those higher dew points inland. But then you work your way out towards the end of this run. That's 100 or 360 hours away. It's about 16 days, and you can see it just kind of suppresses all this stuff down to the south. So is that exactly what's going to happen? No, but it could tell me that as we work our way towards the exact middle of the month, we might see a decrease in severe weather potential. That's what I gain from this. So let me show you some operational runs here. This is the GFS model. We can look at other ones. I just have the GFS pulled up here. So this is starting off right now. Moves in. There's that kind of trough of the southeast. Then this is what I'm talking about. This is getting into the first, the second, the third. Some eye candy shows up, especially if you're into severe weather. You're a storm chaser like myself. You see this and you're like, what's going on here? You see that kind of detached. Our main jet is up here. You see this area kind of riding to the south with a big low pressure and a strong jet streak associated with it. Well, where does it go? This is into the third and the fourth. So the GFS would indicate that there's something to watch right here. So I'm not going to pull soundings yet. I might pull some later, but just to get a general idea, that's a system that moves through and then moves out. Then we get towards the 5th, 6th, the 7th, and it has the GFS. This has nothing to do with the Aero Ensemble, but the GFS has this low pressure. Let's get to the afternoon of the 7th like we were looking at earlier. That's right here. So it's moved out. It's a little bit faster. I will say the GFS has a bias to be more progressive with features like this, with these troughs and ridges and all that. It can be a little bit too fast, typically, especially with severe weather. Winter weather is a different story. But say that this is a little bit fast, so that when we are here, this trough might actually be more like this. Just an idea. Regardless, the GFS shows that system. Obviously, you see those bolder colors and all that good stuff. So let's take it. Let's go right here. This is the evening of the 6th. So this is a day earlier. I move this out as well. So evening of the 6th, right about here. Right here. So you take this. This is our surface pattern. Again, this is the same thing we looked at on the Aero Ensemble, but it's not as coarse. There's these other highlighted features because this is a single operational run. It's got 60s dew points into central Kansas. This time of year, not necessarily common. And you can see how the wind barbs they're pointing around and they kind of point in. These ones point out of the south and kind of curve in. So we have some sort of surface low developing. And it's yanking this warm sector of moisture up from the Gulf. So there's a feature of note. So it's a little bit earlier with it. And it brings that ample moisture. You move it on, kind of beats it down. And then you can see something happening here. You have some sort of frontal boundary bringing this moisture back up to the north, and it surges. We're talking about Iowa as far as the northern periphery of this moisture if it happens like this. So let's go back. It shows the system, right? And it moves out very quickly. That low pressure moves. Then we get to the 8th. And then we just get this very broad kind of south-southwesterly flow aloft. There's a surface low, or not surface low, an upper level low over here over areas of the desert Southwest and SoCal. So it has a second one, has another one moving in. It's very amplified and it's very far west. I mean, we're talking about very amplified. Our other jet is up here and it's dipping down hundreds of miles to the south, thousands. So you can see out in this area, see how the flow kind of gets disrupted? You see more of these blues? That's because there's actually storms in there that disrupt this flow. So you get to the afternoon of the 8th. This is the same frame. These line up with each other. So you have all this moisture spiking up into Iowa amid flow aloft that would support severe weather. So none of this looks like, oh, we have an outbreak to track that's over a week away. Not yet. Once you get closer, maybe. But that moves its way in. I mean, it really gets going. Let's do hour 294 here. Move this out a few more. So this is one of those looks where it's like classic, right? You got a tight surface low up here. You got a very tight gradient to the south. Very tight. You got, like 30s dew points and 60s or 70s dew points. It's very tight. And kind of this broad, warm sector here of a lot of moisture. You pair that right here, this frame right here lines up with this. So you got this flow kind of spreading out over this area. And this is an afternoon forecast hour. So this is the middle of the day, and you got something like this happening. So again, I think that all of this points to more than anything else, because our ensemble guidance backs this up. We'll just have repeated severe potential. And we're going to go over an operational run of the GFS model to show us where storms could be. Just a general look. We have more hours here. So that moves through. That's a very potent looking jet. Jet street, that is. Hour 324. Move this out a few. So this is a kind of a different look. It's very kind of squished. But there'd be severe potential with this too. And we move this past. That moves in. And it looks like we have another trough kind of loading in to come through the U.S. once again. So we have a lot there. Now I'm going to switch this over to the GFS. And we're going to just go back out to the national sector here. So we'll do it like this. You know what? We'll do it like this. We'll do it like we had it. So this is starting off now. So the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So there's something that happens in the kind of Central Plains and the Midwest. That was supported. If you remember, we're talking about the 4th of the GFS model. Moves in, moves out. Get to the 6th, something happens in the Central Plains. Moving into the 7th, something else happens in the Central Plains. Gets a line of storms developed. And then we get kind of this. This was that look where there was a really strong trough aloft and moisture spiking all the way up into Iowa. Well, we did have storms in. You have to watch those. Those moved in and moved out. There's another one that comes in just afterwards. Now, we're hour 324. Well, this is what it did. It has kind of that comma head look on it. It kind of goes like this, almost that shrimp kind of look, if you will. And yeah, I mean, this is not specific. Please don't take this, and if you're under any of what I just showed you, freak out and like, oh, we've got to go get prepared. We got to go bring out the severe weather gear again. All that. Don't do that. But what I'm really, and I'm going to draw, I'm going to see if I can pull up like a blank map or something. Let's see. Now this one might work. I'm trying to think of a way I could do this. Um, I don't know. We'll take it like this. Ignore anything that's currently on the screen. This is what my final thoughts are for the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to get out of your hair. I think right in here specifically, there's a lot of potential. That's the way our troughs and our moisture seem to line up the most, is right in there. Again, not telling you guys to freak out if you're in that circle, because I know I have viewers in that circle. But it does seem apparent to me that this could happen. You know, you got a trough kind of diving in here, and you got moisture surging up here, and that's what we get. That's the consequence of these two meeting most often, is some form of severe weather. Is it an event like this? Maybe. I'm not saying that all of these events are going to be some crazy high end, moderate or high risk day from the Storm Prediction Center. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, I think we'll have the potential for stuff like that. And to make a broader circle that kind of encompasses more, I think we could have severe potential kind of like this. That's a huge circle. I mean, that's like a good third of the U.S. when it comes to like square mileage. But some of our storms kind of they formed those bow echoes and formed right in there. Some of them made their way up into the northern plains. Some of them were kind of in the deep south, kind of like the one that we're watching today. So yeah, I mean right in here for the most severe weather potential. Now, I mean, I'm not even gonna, in this video at least, not even gonna speak on the winter weather side of this. I just don't think it's worth it. I'll be discussing that in this evening's video. There'll be a lot. As we go into March, obviously it's the 26th. We got 2 more days of February, not including today. And as we make our way into March, I mean, starting now, obviously, but making our way into March, all signs seem to point to quite a bit going on. This was just a kind of an eye opener for me. Again, if you compare this to what we just looked at, is there anything specific? No, but you see this right here? Kind of look. I'm going to draw a circle and I'll let you guys see it for yourselves. Kind of right in there, right? See how there's just a lot of flow over that area almost the whole time? And there's one that rolls in, rolls out, another one rolls in, rolls out, another one rolls in and rolls out, but it stays around. You compare that, not that one. You compare that with this. Same circle, by the way. I'm going to go back first. Is the entire circle full of blue? No. Is the entire circle full of green? No. But in that circle, there is quite a bit of both. And I think that because of that, we're going to have these days in March where we have pretty reasonable severe threats. And we're already starting it off right now. I mean, let's check on it. Is there anything going on? Let's turn these on here. So no, not anything specific. Some special weather statements, nothing crazy. But starting now and then going for the next couple of weeks, all signs point to it. I'll just put it like that. So I'm going to get out of your hair. I just wanted to make this video for those who are interested to kind of go over this. I do want to mention all of you guys out there, every single one of you has access to what I'm looking at right now. This is Pivotal Weather. You can search this in your search bar up here. You don't got to pay for it. You can. You can pay for it. And that you get other features. I might do that at some point. It's not cheap, but I might at some point for my own use and purposes. But regardless, you have access to this stuff, and it's cool stuff. So don't limit yourself to having to watch videos like this to stay informed. Inform yourself. That's important stuff. So all that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. Tune in a matter of, I don't know, 4 hours or so. I'll have you guys an evening video out to kind of go over all of the latest for the upcoming pattern and winter storm potential, severe storm potential, all that good stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys then.